Our last presenter is Matthew Schnittman. Matthew is the CEO of TopSchool. He was formerly the president of eCollege. Take it away. Sure.
So thank you very much. I'd like to thank Goldman Sachs for allowing me to be the last speaker in the last session before happy hour. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the vision of TopSchool and the direction we're going in as much as who we are today. TopSchool builds and supports a student lifecycle management system to really power the business of higher education, and we deliver our solution exclusively in a SaaS model. SaaS defined as a single instance multi-tenant solution, not just that we get paid on an ongoing license fee. We actually are architected in a traditional SaaS model. Now, when we really look at the business of higher education, we really look at holistically. From the day that a learner raises their hand and says, I may be interested in coming to your institution, and you can call that person a prospect. Whether they're a prospect to go to Harvard or Princeton, or whether they're a prospect to go to Metro State University or the University of Colorado at Denver, it's still somebody that has indicated an interest in learning. From admissions, they can move into financial aid, getting packaged, getting their funding, into student services and enrollment, into the actual teaching and learning and aspects, eventually career placement and services, and then alumni and alumni development. And I think something that's really interesting to consider is we've spent a lot of time today talking about understanding the individual in the academic sense. So how does an individual learn? How should they be taught? But the way that we look at the world is how should they be treated and managed as an individual throughout the entire academic ecosystem, which includes financial pressures and family pressures and a lot of other aspects that go into the happiness and potential success of the learner beyond just the aspect of teaching and learning. We also look at the business of aspects of higher education through key performance indicators or outcomes that the institution is often looking for throughout the student life cycle. Things like lead conversions, right? So lead conversion, an institution will go out and they'll spend money to interest a learner in their institution. And a big driver of the success of that particular module within the system is what percentage of the leads that come to your university actually convert and actually start. Right, which then conversely, the next step in that key performance indicator could be student retention. Great, so I spent the money, I got the student to learn at my institution. How do I make sure that they get to the 5th class in their academic program? Because research shows that when you get to class 5, that you're going to stay throughout the entire program, and that's a good investment for the business of higher education. The areas that are in black up on this vision are areas that TopSchool currently does, and the areas in bluish, greenish, teal are areas that are also critical within the student life cycle that we look at to build, buy, or partner to deliver to our institutions. With the key vision, though, is being able to aggregate data throughout the entire student life cycle, which includes academics, teaching, and learning, but all those other areas so you can truly understand that student as an individual, provide them solutions both through teaching and learning, as well as other support services to drive a successful outcome. Now today, when we look out in the marketplace, we see things like teaching and learning platforms, or degree audit systems, or career service systems that are all delivered to the academic enterprise as standalone modules, which really isn't delivering the ultimate potential to the institution. Everybody goes out to the market with their siloed program, or their siloed functionality, and they will pass data for those things that they need to consume, but not very many people are good at giving their data to other systems. And so we really see that as being an inefficiency for the academic institution. It's very complex to integrate that data. It's very complex to implement those systems themselves. And it's really inefficient purchasing for the institution themselves as they have to go out and negotiate contracts and manage multiple vendors. When we really look out the future and who TopSchool is, it's really an integrated SaaS platform across all of these divergent modules that allow for easy integration of data, that allow for easier implementation of the system, and allows for an easier management of both the vendor-client relationship, both from a purchasing and an implementation and an account management perspective. All of this delivered in an easy-to-use, simple software as a service that really allows for a single point of accountability of the institution to the actual vendor, TopSchool. So when we really look out what we're going to be doing in the coming years, it's really leveraging our current platform and our management team to roll up adjacent technologies and really deliver that comprehensive solution across a student life cycle that will allow that institution to understand the student both in the classroom also as to what else is going on in their lives so you can really manage them effectively. It's going to really provide some very unique opportunities for TopSchool as the first and only SaaS enterprise solution. A lot of multiple revenue sources for the organization, both from the comprehensive system as well as point solutions across the enterprise. So we can deliver our system as the entire student lifecycle system, but we can also just license our admissions module or our career services module, but with the belief that as you get additional penetration into the school, the value of the system grows exponentially as you can understand that student even more and more. Can leverage the platform investments that we've already made across a larger revenue base and get a lot of scale and credibility in the marketplace. Our management team is a combination of people from long tenures in technology and education, as well as school operations as well, and feel that we can really leverage that expertise and that experience across a larger and more comprehensive solution base. Large market, about 13 million students actually are enrolled in what we would define as our target market, which is small to mid-size, non-residential programs in the United States. These can be defined as community colleges, continuing ed schools, as well as for-profit institutions. About 13 million of the 20 million students in the United States currently enrolled in those programs.
Great. Excellent. Guys, Adish.
Great presentation, and obviously from your e-college experience, you know how it is to battle with incumbents in the space. Having said that, how do you end up getting to your target market, given that it is a fairly entrenched space? Yep. I imagine the greenfield opportunity is fairly minimal.
Yeah, it's a good question. A couple things. It's actually pretty interesting. When you go out to the marketplace, I'd say it's probably a third, and a third. A third of the institutions, amazingly enough, are running their back office systems on Excel spreadsheets, Access databases. In fact, we actually converted somebody recently from FileMaker Pro version 8. I don't even know, how that's possible. So you kind of see you see that a lot out there, actually, surprisingly amount. I have a third of people that definitely have an entrenched base that are going to take more time in order to displace, and that's exactly why we will deliver the platform in modules, and specifically 2 modules that we go to market with today: admissions and career services. Right, kind of the bookends of the whole student life cycle. We do that so we can actually get penetration and really understand what's going on in that academic enterprise, as well as to bookend the legacy system, as well as those 2 particular modules require a lot less integration with the legacy system because you don't have to be passing data back and forth real time. And the third of the people that we see out there also have enterprise systems that have been paying maybe maintenance fees for a while and getting basically the quality of service that maintenance fees will usually get somebody, and are very open to actually biting the bullet and really making a significant investment of both, more importantly than the money is really the time to make an effective implementation. So we do see that as well.
Barry?
Yeah, just a follow-up to that. I mean, as I look at your workflow, there's a lot of distinct departments within a university represented by the product. How do you manage the complexity of those relationships, and who ultimately owns the purchase decision?
That's a good question, and it actually drives to the target market that we go after: small to mid-sized non-residential schools. They make decisions in a much different way than Arizona State University would make a decision, or the far superior university down the road, University of Arizona, would make a decision. All right, it's Pac-12 school or whatever.
That's okay.
They're all good. So that's exactly a big reason why we go after the market that we do, because those decisions can be made in a more centralized manner at the president's cabinet. Usually you don't get into a world of large RFPs. You don't get into a world of committees and subcommittees that have to make decisions. So we find that our sales cycles currently are about 3 to 6 months, where we have talked to some of our colleagues in larger organizations where they can be doing product demonstrations every day for 3 to 6 months before they get to the RFP, before they get to the committee. Good question. That's why we do that.
Can I just take that one more level down in terms of ongoing service?
Yeah.
Do you have the same problem, even though it's an integrated system, of actually doing silo service?
Yes, except that we're built on a single database. Right, so being a true architected SaaS gives us tremendous scale in maintaining that database, as well as ease of analyzing the data. A true single instance multi-tenant approach gives us a lot of operational scale in managing that.
Good. Great. Thanks.
Great, good. Well, thank you all. Go ahead.